Hello my beautiful makeup lovers, thank you so much for tuning in with me today and a very warm welcome to my channel. Today I want to give you my final review on the Berlin Underground palette from Nomad Cosmetics. I already have a first impression with this one up on my channel. There I'm also showing some swatches, so if you're interested in this I'm gonna leave it linked up here and also linked down below. And in this video we're gonna do 2 more looks on this palette, and also on the end of the 2 looks I'm gonna give you my final review of this palette. So if you want to see that, stay tuned. Okay, so the look I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna start off with this color Tacheles over here. Okay, so I basically laid down this color using a smaller, fluffier brush, and then I blended out the edges with the same brush without cleaning it in between. And now that I want to deepen up the look a little bit, I'm gonna go into the dark matte of the palette, and this is this color Clubnacht, which is a black dark matte. So after going in with this and working it in together, I want to go in with the color Helden over here, which is this kind of gold, but a bit more on the less orange side, like Poor but Sexy. So I'm gonna put this on the front part of my lid, and I am going to wet my brush for this. Applying this, I am going to go in with the color SO36, which is, by the way, a really cool club in Berlin, and I'm going to put it on the outer part of my lid, and I'm also going to wet my brush for this. Okay, after putting down this color, which by the way has a really nice, like, kind of mossy green shift to it. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's really beautiful on the eyes. I really like it. Anyway, I'm going to go in back with the color Clubnacht over here to kind of fix a bit where the shimmers and the mattes meet in the outer corner and make it everything a little bit smoother. But before I'm going to do this, I'm just going to go in with a clean brush and start to move around a bit. Okay, so my lower lash line, I'm going to start off with this color East Side Gallery over here. And now I'm going to go in with this color here over Love Parade to darken up the outer part of the lower lash line. Okay, so as an inner corner highlight, I'm going to use this color Kreuzberg over here. And I'm going to wet my brush for it. As a brow bone highlight, I'm going to use my Becca highlight in the color Opal. And just put a little bit there. I'm going to finish off the look with mascara and all this fuss, and then I'm going to be back with you. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I did finish it up with the Essence Lash Princess False Effect Mascara using a long-lasting eyeshadow stick from Kiko Milano in the color 49. They look like this. It's kind of this blue that I put on my waterline. And then I put on my lips from Nomad Cosmetics from the Last Resort set. I put the color Departure, and on top of it I put the color Solstice. I know how to pronounce this. And anyway, so this is the finished look. I hope you like it. I like how it turned out. I love how the gold plays together with the red in the crease and the blue down here. So I'm happy with the result. So this was one of the looks with the Berlin Underground palette from Nomad Cosmetics. So today's look, we start off with the color Oranienstraße over here, and I'm going to lay it down like with a smaller brush, a bit more dense brush, already a bit in the shape as I wanted to, and then I'm taking a fluffier blending brush and I'm going to blend out the edges. Okay, so after this is done, I want to lay down the color Love Parade down here with the shader brush on the outer part of my lid, on the inner part of my lid. Now I'm going in with the color The Wall up here. And I'm going to put it on the center of my lid where I left it a bit free, and I'm going to wet my brush for this. Now I'm going to go in with a smaller, more detailed brush, again in the color Love Parade, and marry these colors a bit more together on the lid. Now I'm going to take the color Kreuzberg and I'm going to put it just on top of the center color that I put there, and just a little bit I dusted on there. Now with a bit smaller detailed brush again, I'm going to go into the color Clubnacht, and I'm going to now go around the edges of the lid. Now I'm gonna go into the color NDW up here and put it all over my lower lash line. After this is done, I'm gonna go into the color Love Parade again over here and put it on the outer part of my lower lash line, a bit more close to the lashes. Now I'm gonna go back in with the color Kreuzberg, this one, and I am going to use it as an inner corner highlight, and for this I'm also gonna wet my brush. Now I'm going to go in with one of my Ofra highlights, and I'm gonna go in with this one, which is the color Blissful, this one. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish off with mascara, and then I'm gonna be back with you. Okay guys, so this is the finished look that I came up with the Nomad Cosmetics Berlin Underground palette. I finished it up with the Essence Lash Princess False Effect mascara. I also used a long-lasting eyeshadow stick from Kiko Milani in the color 48 in my waterline, and on my lips I'm wearing the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte in the color Medusa. So this is the finished look. I hope you can see. Oh, that was out of focus, wasn't it? This is the finished look. I hope you can see how the dimension of the color in the middle, that it has kind of a green reflect. I think the camera might not pick it up as well, but it's a really, really pretty effect, in my opinion. Okay, now that you have seen the two looks that I created with the palette, I want to do with you my final thoughts on this palette. I want to give you my final review on it, and let's just do that. So I want to start with the strong points of the palette. So the strong points of this palette are definitely the shimmers, the shades with the shimmer finishes. So because all of them, or the most of them, have kind of a dimension to them that's very difficult to pick up. I tried to show you with this look, you know, using here in the middle the color The Wall and the color Kreuzberg layered together, and this brings like a really nice green shift out, because the color Kreuzberg has like this nice really green shift to it. It has like kind of a green like this one, while the color The Wall has like kind of a very, it's not really a green shift actually. There it's more kind of a like almost a light blue shift, which would resemble more to the color East Side Gallery. But all of them, they have this nice shift to them that's very difficult to pick up on camera. I don't know if you could see it in the swatches in the first impression that I made, but it's such a beautiful shimmer composition in here. I really love those. The color, for example, SO36 has like a really moss green shift to it. The color Love Parade has this really deep purple. I mean, it already looks purple, but it has this really plummy purple sheen. And yeah, so all of them, they're having a really nice dimension to them. They have a lot of depth, the different shimmers, and I really like that. I do create looks. So when I created looks for myself, just not for YouTube, but for myself, you know, doing makeup, I found myself coming to this palette to just pick out one shimmer. For example, I really love this color Kreuzberg that I wear as an inner corner highlight. It has this really nice green shift, as I already said. Or this color Helden is like a really true yellow gold, so bright, so much full of life, I find, and that's really cool. This color Hansa down here is like a really nice bronzy, almost bronzy chocolatey shimmer. Like it has this kind of depth, you know, of a brown bronze that is so pretty, and it's so smooth. And yes, so I'm a big fan of the shimmers in this palette, and I don't want to miss them in my collection. Some of them, like most of the shimmers that are in here in this kind of dimension that they are in this palette, I don't have in my collection yet, and let's face it, I mean something. And yeah, so I'm really happy with the shimmers in here. The mattes, on the other hand, they are good. They're good mattes, but they are not this kind of very super matte finish as you might know it from the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments or from the Nabla Feather collection. And they are more kind of the, you know, mattes which have a little tiny sheen to them. They're not that super ultra mattes, and you cannot see the sheen on the eyes. Like I'm wearing the color Oranienstraße here in my crease today, and I don't think you can see a sheen or anything. But it's definitely not this ultra pigmented matte that is very popular these days. And so if you're looking for that, then this mattes might not be for you. But on the other hand, you only have 4 mattes in here. So you have the color NDW, the color Tacheles, the color Oranienstraße, and the color Clubnacht, which are like true mattes. And those, they perform well, they perform good, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're bad shades whatsoever. They're just not into this direction of this very popular ultra mattes going on these days. So I just wanted to mention that. And also that you only have 4 mattes maybe could be an advantage if you are really in love with the shimmer shades like I am with this palette. But I believe they could have taken 1 or 2 more shimmers out and put 1 or 2 more mattes in there just to balance it out a bit more, because the looks that I do with it in the crease, I most of the time use the color Tacheles or NDW. I almost never go into the color Oranienstraße because it's just not so much my crease shade. It's a brown, so I like to start off my crease like with a bit of color. And then you have the only shade to darken up your mattes is the color Clubnacht, and therefore all the looks you're going to do with this palette have kind of a crunchy feel to them, because the black makes it really fast dramatic, and it's a really good black matte. So if you're in the market for a very pigmented black matte, this is definitely for you. Personally, I don't mind the mattes because the shimmers are so beautiful, but I do think that, for example, the color Deutsch Punk and the color Chaos Tage wouldn't have to be both in there. I think they could have chosen one. My favorite of the two is definitely Deutsch Punk, but so I think Chaos Tage could have been like a nice matte, maybe like corresponding with this kind of blue. That would have been really pretty. And yeah, so that would be like a conceptual minus for me, like the selection of mattes and the number of mattes, let's say. But besides that, I'm also very happy it has so many shimmers, like I said, because they are so pretty. So it's difficult to kind of, you know, really not liking that they put so many mattes, that they did not put so many mattes in here, if I really like the shimmers. So basically what I want to say with all this rambling is that if you want to buy this palette as a standalone palette, I don't personally buy palettes as standalone palettes because I have a bigger collection, so I don't mind if I cannot create like tons of looks only using one palette. But if you're looking for this, maybe because it only has 4 mattes, it's a bit difficult to have a lot of variety. Also keep in mind that also the looks end up really grungy. I mean, this is a grungy palette, so I don't really mind it. But in general, if somebody would tell me, do you recommend this palette? I would probably say yes, if you don't mind drawing in a couple of other mattes from your collection and if you have that available. And I would say maybe think about it if you want to buy this one and you don't have a lot of other mattes in your collection, or you don't want to draw in other colors from your collection. I'm saying this for the mattes, not for the shimmers. But if you're in the market for really beautiful shimmers with a grungy twist on them, then I definitely recommend you this palette. It's beautiful. The shimmers are amazing. Also the colors all last long on the eyes. I don't find myself with them creasing faster than any other shades, or yeah, that's pretty cool. They don't have much fallout, like nothing that borders me in the end. And yeah, so from the quality side, the shimmers definitely all there. The mattes are very good, but not exceptional. And yeah, that's, I guess, my final verdict on the palette. So you really have to ask yourself, what do you expect from this palette, and then evaluate the different points I gave you and try to make a decision based on that. I hope that kind of helped you, the review. Let me definitely know in the comments down below if you're planning on grabbing this palette, and if you already have it. Also let me know what you think about the matte selection in here. That would be very interesting. Maybe it's just me and everybody else is like, what are you talking about? Anyway, so please give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of video. I would love if you consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, so I can see you here for my next video. Bye bye!